The most relevant and important information of the day.
Today, the Bolivariano Educational Institution began classes on campus. It is the last institution to join in on the on-site education. After complying with all the biosecurity measures and established requirements, the school opens its doors.
The educational institution in their totality are in face-to-face classes after more than a year of virtuality. Complying with all the biosecurity protocols, the students are back to see their teachers and to receive the explanation of their subjects in the classroom. The Bolivariano School was the last institution to return to face-to-face lessons. With satisfaction, the principal referred to return to classes.
Well, thank God we opened today. As an institution, we had to have all the biosecurity protocols recommended by the Secretary of Health. And so in response to all these requirements, we opened the doors, and we are seeing that the students are very eager because they all arrived. We thought we were going to have a minority, but we have seen that the ones we have mentioned have been arriving.
The principal pointed out that all the children will attend, with the exception of those who for health reasons should not.
The new head of the portfolio of the departmental government took office before Governor Everett Hawkins, who welcomed him and told him about the challenges of the position. It was also announced that next week the Secretary of ICTs, one of the 3 secretariats formed during this term of government, will be sworn in.
The new Secretary of Government was sworn in by the Governor Everett Hawkins, who welcomed him and told him about the challenge of the position. The new Secretary told Teleislas News about his expectation in this important position.
Muy honrado por esta distinción.
Very honored by this distinction. Very grateful to the Governor for the trust he has placed in me. And I'm ready to give all my effort to develop all the activities. I feel that the Secretariat of Government is one of the offices that has the largest number of functions within the department. Quite complicated issues, but with the robust team that this Secretariat has, we will take on this challenge and give the best results.
The new Secretary will have the challenge of assuming the department's security commitments, as well as guiding and leading the formulation and monitoring of policies aimed at strengthening governance. He will also be in charge of organizing the use of public space and promoting citizen organization and participation. In an interview with this news agency, the governor of the department confirmed the creation of the Secretariat of ICTs in the islands.
La Secretaría de las TICs es una...
The Secretariat of ICT is one of the secretariats that we had requested the last year some powers to create. Today, all the issues of big data and information and technology and innovation has to be under the structure of Secretariat dedicated especially for that and for the development of all ICT projects. The digital living points and technological entrepreneurship as such, these should be under the structures of the departmental administration, especially in this case.
About the person who will assume the position, the governor stated that it will be the young man Victor Turizo Palencia.
La próxima semana.
Next week, we will appoint Victor Turizo Palencia. He is a very well-prepared young man, and we are going to give him this opportunity because I trust in his abilities.
This decree for the formal creation of the Secretariat is expected to be issued the following week, as well as the number of positions to be created.
And in the National Police Auditorium, the Territorial Assembly of the Special Instance of Gender for Peace was held.
The election of the new member of the Special Women's Instance for the following up of gender approach in the implementation of peace agreement was held in the department. This event is supported by Women's and Gender Office and the Secretariat of Social Development, which seeks to ensure women access to policies and programs that favor the construction of peace in Colombia.
Here in San Andres, in the auditorium of the National Police, a pre-election was held where a representative was elected, a pre-candidate to represent us at the national level, in which she will compete with the other departments to be a representative at the national level.
During the event, Luz Escobar Britton was selected as the pre-candidate for the department as representative to the gender instance.
The association is very happy because this is a step forward for the department to be considered in the framework of the armed conflict. That is to say, to take into account the violation that we and our families have suffered in the framework of the armed conflict. So at a national level, this type of situation can be taken into consideration and at the same time seek justice and non-repetition of these actions towards the Rizal people and residents alike.
Luz Escobar will compete with the representative of the gender instance of each city in the country, from which 16 women will be chosen to work to contribute to ensure the gender approach in the implementation of peace agreement.
And the Coast Guard unit of San Andres achieved the rescue of 2 tourists who almost drowned at sea while doing a recognized water sport on the island. More information follows.
A man and a woman, aged 34 and 32 respectively, were rescued after their kite surfing kite fell while they were practicing this nautical sport in the bay. The Coast Guard Commander Victor Hugo Santos narrated the facts.
Estas personas presentaron inconvenientes dentro de su cometa.
These people had inconveniences with their kite, which produced the incident in the bay. Unfortunately, we received a call through the Maritime Traffic Control System, where we immediately sent a rapid reaction unit to rescue the persons who were presenting symptoms of drowning.
At this moment, both tourists are in good health conditions. On the other hand, from the Coast Guard unit, the community of the islands is advised to take into account the restrictions that are being issued by the port captaincy and the media so that they do not endanger their life at the time of any activity at sea.
Recently, there was damage to the traffic lights at the Sagrada Familia and Bolivariano crossroads. In addition, there is still damage to the 5-corner traffic lights. The manager of MDSA, Dreiser Castillo Mesa, explained the reason for the damage.
We have one that went out this week, but it was due to a power surge because the operator was working in the sector and a 13,500 volt line caused damage and burned everything, so we had to replace all the cards. That intersection was working normally, but with this unforeseen event, it took out of operation the Bolivariano, Sagrada Familia, and Vente de Julio streets.
Castillo also explained the damage to the 5-corner traffic lights.
There is another one that is at 5 corner that is more complicated because it was damage caused by a contractor who broke the road and damaged the power supply to the traffic light, and we have not been able to change it. That is, in the excavation of the road, it damaged the reservoir pipe, and passing the probe to pull the cable in that way to make a new connection, the probe does not go through.
MDSA informed that it's already in communication with the Infrastructure Secretariat so that after a meeting they can define what actions to take, taking into account that the road has already been paved and they need to open it again to solve the failure in the 5-corner traffic lights.
In coordination with the corporation organization Minuto de Dios, the Protecting Animal Life Foundation, PAL, is carrying out 3 days of sterilization and free veterinary care in the municipality.
For the public health and animal welfare of Old Providence and Santa Catalina. This is the name of the sterilization campaign that took place yesterday and that will continue until tomorrow in the municipality. The corporation organization Minuto de Dios has joined forces with the PAL Foundation for the welfare of the canines and felines.
Estamos recibiendo donaciones de parte del Minuto de Dios.
We are receiving donations from Minuto de Dios, and we are in a sterilization campaign since yesterday. Tomorrow we have medical attention and deworming. We plan to reach approximately 30 animals, both dogs and cats, and we have already operated between 12 and 15.
Donations from the corporation also came in the form of food for animals that will be distributed by the PAL Foundation to the community.
Nos llegó comida para perros y gatos.
We received food for dogs and cats, and we are going to try to provide it to the community by the bag, by the pound. So if you have an animal that needs food, you can go to the veterinarian's office starting next week on Mondays and Fridays from 3 to 6 in the afternoon for deworming, vaccination, and delivery of donations.
Tomorrow they will also be doing veterinary consultations.
And in other news from Old Providence, thanks to an alliance between the Agrario Bank and the Ministry of Agriculture, today and tomorrow a series of trainings will be given to strengthen agricultural producers in the area of commerce.
In order to strengthen and rebuild the economic and social fabric in the municipality and to empower farmers, today a series of trainings in financial education for the agricultural sectors have begun.
¿Qué vamos a aprender?
What are we going to learn? What is economic and financial education? It is to ensure that Colombians make good decisions when acquiring a financial product. What does one do to have an economic and financial education, have clear goals, have a purpose in life? Where are you going?
The trainer talked a little bit about the topics that he will be presenting, among them
make a budget, identify
saving.
where your money comes from and where you are sending it to, and if you have money left or not. Save. Remember that saving is the only option we Colombians have to rebuild a real capital in a transparent way. Save at least 10% of what you receive.
Loans, investment, credit cards, among other topics.
That is what we are going to learn in this course, which is like a very special invitation from us. We have come from the interior of the country to train you.
The trainings will be from 2 to 5 at the Little Angels Child Development Center in Southwest Bay.
Hello, here are the best sports of the islands. The process of sports training began with basketball in the sectors of Rancho in San Luis. Children and adolescents who play basketball can obtain multiple benefits from this experience. Basketball, like any competitive sport, is a very valuable tool in the formative process of young people. Returning to the experience of the sport after the pandemic serves to exercise the body and recreate the mind. That is why these tournaments are of most importance. This is what Coach William Newball told us.
It's no doubt with the time we are living now in a pandemic era, the guys, they need some type of entertainment. They are not going to school, they are tired of being home. So true basketball or sport is the best way to get them out so they can recreate themselves.
Newball also expressed his opinion on the importance of the sports exchange and the participation of our sister island, Old Providence.
Because we are sister islands, and it's always good to strengthen that relationship through sport. So it's always good to have them here, and not only Providence, other teams should be coming over so we could keep the guys them happy and fluid in the sport.
These basketball sports tournaments help both the health of the young athletes and also to keep them away from the bad things in the streets, according to Coach Newball.